Welcome to more live coverage of the Audi Sports R8 LMS Cup. We are here again at the Shanghai International Circuit. Now, Sean Henshelwood, yesterday for Burt Birnbachdy, pretty comfortable win. He is now the new championship leader and the man in form for this series.
Well, he certainly is. That was fourth win yesterday. That's impressive, but it's so tight. And qualifying 2 sessions yesterday, we saw them separated by half a second. And when you talk about a lap that's about 2 minutes 10, 2 minutes 5, wow, that's really impressive. And we're talking about Burt Birnbachdy. He had pole for yesterday's race, but a drama in second race wasn't so much a drama. He said, I didn't get the maximum out of my tyres, but that dropped him back to 6th on the grid. That's how close it is.
That's right. Apparently there was some sort of puncture, obviously not a full-out puncture, in the second qualifying session. Didn't realise, according to Andrew Haryanto, his big rival in the championship standings. Andrew starts from 3rd, and he'll be keen to do better at the start than happened yesterday.
Well, he didn't quite have the pace yesterday. Burt Birnbachdy lost the start to Andrew Haryanto down on the run to turn 1. But he got it back fairly quickly, Birnbachdy, and was a fairly comfortable winner in the end. But the one to look out for is the pole man for today, former Cup winner, Alex Au.
That's right. Now, the man from Hong Kong returning to the Cup, second yesterday, and he'll be definitely in amongst. He was joking yesterday after the race in the podium that he's going to try to shake things up between those top two in the championship standings by helping them out by taking maximum points with the win. So he's definitely one to watch. Now, it's perfect weather today. What else do we need to look out for?
Well, we've got that great battle for the 2 Chinese races for that 3rd seat in the 2019 Spa 24-hour entry. It's a good battle between Yasser Shahin. Jeffrey Lee's now moved into contention, and the man who just left behind us, Sun Jingzhou. So anyway, what we need to do before we get into the action here, let's take a look back at how round 7 of the championship played out yesterday. Wow, it's fairly tight down here. The crowd's starting to build. It's a nice day, as Mark said, and we're going to see a few people on the grid. But qualifying yesterday was so close. We can't just explain how close that was. We'll see on the front row fairly soon the top drivers. Alex Au taking pole position on his return to the Cup after a couple of seasons away. Of course, he's been racing in an Audi Sport customer racing entry around Asia over recent seasons. But this was a return to the Cup. Even he admitted just how tough the competition was. So if we look as the grid starts to set up, Andrew Haryanto, he led the championship points coming into this weekend. We'll go over and see if we can just see how things are going with him. But he's dropped back to 2nd behind Burt Birnbachdy. And the Indonesian driver will be very, very keen to try and rebuild from where he has been in this championship. So a good result so far this year. Of course, that fantastic start in the opening round of the championship in Adelaide. He went from the 2nd row to the lead by the first turn on a street circuit he'd never seen before prior to going into practice. So that was a great result for him. Take a close look in. Michael Schneider just conferring with Andrew Haryanto, the team boss there for Absolute Racing, just to make sure the Indonesian driver's comfortable and ready to go. Go back to the front row, and just behind us, Sun Jingzhou is back to the front row again. The Chinese driver has been exceptional so far this season as he's graduated through. He had a major stepping stone, a major milestone for him this year at the Suzuka 10-hour race, driving alongside such drivers Adley Fong and Frankie Chung, his longtime friend and mentor. He has become a driver at another level this year, and he's right in this title fight. He's right in the fight too for that 3rd seat for the Spa 24-hour race next year. Yasser Shahin's another one. We should see him through shortly, the Australian driver who's been very, very good. So we just watch out as the field starts to fill out. Alex Au coming towards us. He will move to pole position and take the leading spot for the start of this race. Talking to him yesterday, he said, look, I've got a little bit of weight by virtue of having finished second yesterday, but I'm not going to be too far off. Yasser Shahin's just moved in to a start off the second row. Martin, cool. Can we grab you on the way through? Yes, the Director of Audi Sport Customer Racing Asia. What a great day it is today. Crowds coming in, weather's beautiful. What do you think we're going to expect as we go into this race? And good to see a former AM Cup champion on the pole position.
Yeah, true. We already had a very strong field before we came to Shanghai. Now we have the addition of Alex Au, Bao Jinlong. Amazing field, very competitive drivers. I expect very close racing, and there's a lot on the table as well. The season's coming to an end, so who's going to go to the final in Sepang as the points leader? Very tight, and also we give away one seat for our Spa 2019 team, so it will be very tight between Yasser and...
well, Jingzhou and also Jeffrey Lee's crept into contention.
Jingzhou is in contention, and Jeffrey also has a chance, so... Yes, all in.
You must be very happy too with the GT4, the way that's gone this year. We started only with a couple to start the season off, but now the interest is really starting to build with that category.
Absolutely. The GT4 is a new category starting from this year. It always needs a bit of time to get it into the market, and we're very happy now. We have 4 GT4s on the grid. It's a very promising segment. It's an entry-level GT segment, and it's actually very, very, very useful for us to have this additional offering.
I'll let you go and talk to the drivers. You love doing that before the race. We'll see you afterwards. Have a safe race. Good job. We'll go back through the crowd. It's quite busy. I just saw Ingo Mader moving through behind me somewhere here. Of course, one of the 2 team bosses for the Absolute Racing operation. He's just come through to congratulate Andrew Harrianto. And I'm going to stop you, Ingo, on the way through.
Of course.
How are things looking? The great looking grid, and of course this circuit is one that's dear to you. You have a base here too in Shanghai, but a good field.
Of course. I mean, it's fantastic what we had in quali and the race yesterday. So unfortunate with Bao yesterday, but today I think he will also be somebody to watch for. I mean, it's fantastic. It's a home crowd. It's nice crowd, nice guys, a lot of people, and the race is going to be exciting. I just hope they leave them in one part.
We've got a future Absolute Racing entry standing here, hanging on to the hand. Next generation. But there was some discussion before the race that perhaps there might have been a bit of an issue with the number 59 Singer Plan B entry. What's going on there?
No, it was okay. It was just a sensor issue, but it's sorted. So I think the car should be absolutely there. Yeah, and
you must be proud with all the effort you've put in over the years. You've been here since the start in 2012. Just how close these amateur drivers are. I mean, the pros we're used to seeing within tenths, but the amateurs in both qualifying sessions yesterday.
I mean, it's fantastic. So it shows that the concept works with the mentors. I think having only the amateurs driving, it's going in the really proper way. Yeah, it's going really good because they are getting closer and closer and closer, and they fight for the overall podium. And I mean, honestly, having all these cars in 6/10 in the front, it doesn't get better than that.
I'll let you go and congratulate your teams and wish them luck as we get through this. It is a very, very strong field. Yasser Shahin, we see here in the 74 entry. He's been right in the mix this year. Perhaps hasn't had the luck that we would have liked to have seen, but he's doing a really, really good job and has been a great part of the field this year. Of course, the Australian who has the second longest permanent racing facility in the world behind the Nürburgring at the Ben Motorsport Park in South Australia, not too far from where the opening round of the 2018 season took place in Adelaide. Loves his motorsport, very passionate about it, and he really wants that third seat in the Spa 24-hour entry. Already one of them's gone to Andrew Harrianto, another one's gone to Birat Birambakti, and Yasser Shahin, he'll be looking to try and take that seat away as well. Now with me, here's a man that we all know and love, the 2017 Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup champion. We spoke yesterday about how good these amateur gentleman drivers have been this year and the performance in qualifying, but where do you sit with all of this? Because you were one of the pros last year. We don't have the pros in the field this year. It's a new idea. How do you think it's going?
To be honest, I think it's great because they can compare each other. And it's great to see the competition there in between both, especially between Andrew and Birat. They're really fighting hard for this. They put a lot of pressure on themselves, and they push each other to reach the top, and they became really, really quick. Of course, we do our best to help them, and I think they enjoyed it at all. And for us as pros to see the progress they make is really grateful. So it's really nice, and I'm expecting again a really nice race today.
It's interesting when we talk about them being amateur drivers, and you guys as pros are quicker, but we're only talking about a second a lap.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They progress so much, and race after race they do also racecraft wise. They do overtakes, which you don't even expect from amateurs. They don't do mistakes, and they fight doors to doors. So yeah, I'm really impressed, especially by Burrit, because I know him from a long time now, 2 years, and he's been progressing a lot. And Andrew is a great racer. Jingzhou did a huge step, and of course Jeffrey is still in the mix, so it's going to be interesting.
We'll let you go. Good job. We'll see you in the SOC 888 race. And of course, one of your co-drivers, we just saw him break into the scene then. That was Andre Couto, former star of the Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup. Narrowly lost the title, or one of 3 titles that Alex Jung ended up taking back a couple of years ago. So it'd be great to see Andre Couto back in an Audi R8 LMS GT3. We go further down the list. Bao Jinlong. He is in for the first time, ran very, very strongly in practice and also through qualifying. Had a little bit of drama. He's probably a little bit further back than he would like, but keep a close eye on that one. He will be quite strong. Of course, Burrit Birenbakti right alongside him. He's on the 3rd row. He's not happy with that. He's the new championship points leader and a 4-time winner in season 2018. The Singer Plan B by Absolute Driver. We go a little bit further back. Ryan Liu making his debut in the 666 entry, the Audi R8 LMS GT4. And alongside Jeffrey Lee, veteran, 75 starts now over 7 seasons of the Cup. That's incredible. A little bit further back down the order, we have the car that will be shared on Sunday by former Formula One driver from Indonesia, Rio Haryanto, making his return back to competition. He will be in that 89 entry, an all Indonesian entry. Andrew Haryanto also alongside, and Anderson Tanoto, the car owner and the man who is leading GT4 for the Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup. We're getting very close to clearing off from the grid. I think it's about time we go across to Mark Dreyer and make sure we get a little bit more of an update about this circuit, Shanghai International Circuit, one of the leading circuits in the world, and get ready for what will be round 8 of the 2018 Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup.
Top stuff, Sean. Well, we'll give you a moment to get your breath back before you join me here in the commentary box. You can see 13 and a half. Local time, 1 o'clock just gone here in Shanghai, the eastern coast of China. Just about a minute or so until the start of the formation lap. 1 formation lap and then a rolling start here for round 8 of the Audi Sports R8 LMS Cup. So, running through the grid to start, Alex Au on his return to the Cup starts in pole position alongside Sun Jingzhou, who had disappointment yesterday. Was in the thick of the action, dropped down to 6th place and then had to retire, unfortunately for him, after completing just 8 laps. Andrew Haryanto, Yasser Shahin are on the 2nd row of the grid ahead of Bao Jinlong and Burrit Birenbakti. Mentioned that he had troubles in that 2nd qualifying session, which sets the grid for today's race. Then comes Jeffrey Lee and Ryan Leo on the 4th row of the grid in 7th and 8th respectively. Anderson Tanoto, Sam Locke fill out the 5th row. Jackie Wu and Jeffrey Z are in positions 11 and 12th. And Sheng Yen Wen making his Cup debut from the back of the grid in position number 13, filling in from the car that yesterday was filled by Wang Dengjia, who finished in 11th spot. So, the Audi Sport pace car gets them underway. Let's have a quick look at this circuit, the Shanghai Audi International Circuit, to give it its full name. Track length 5.5 kilometers. Pretty long, but not too twisty given that length. 16 turns about average, and that long home straight, one of, but not quite the longest in Asian motorsport. So lots of places. Turns 7 and 8, a lot of the drivers were saying that is one of the trickiest areas on the track, that little twisty turn we just went past. Then the hairpin is one of the key areas for overtaking before we come back in to complete the lap. And Sean Henshelwood just getting ready. Not quite a marathon stint, Sean. That will come tomorrow when we're down here for another 7 hours straight in the SIC 888 endurance race. But good to see Andre Couto getting in the mix there over your shoulder. Didn't quite hear what he had to say. Perhaps you heard in your ear, if not on the mic. whether it's repeatable or not. Alessio Picariello, of course, and some of the other drivers. Frankie Chung, pioneer of Chinese motorsport, also on the grid. He has been coaching some of these amateur drivers. And as Ingo Mata said, absolutely showing that it works just because of the performance of the amateur drivers this year. So much improved, from which just on lap times alone, they're always competitive, but now as a group, they're just that much faster. And it is credit to everyone within the organisation that they have collectively improved as a group. Now the track temperature 32 degrees, but that will be warming as the race goes on. The sun is out. It's pretty hot on track, 23 degrees centigrade, but definitely considerably warmer than it was yesterday when it was pretty blustery and there was a threat of rain, which fortunately didn't come. So as we come to the end of this formation lap, just run you through the grid one more time. Alex Au is the pole sitter from Sun Jingzhou. Andrew Haryanto and Yasser Shahin, Bao Jinlong, Birit Burambakdi, Jeffrey Lee, Ryan Liu, Anderson Tanoto, Sam Locke, Jackie Wu, Jeffrey Z, and Sheng Yen Wen. So we're coming down into the final straight before the home straight, where we do see some overtakes on this Shanghai International Circuit. The pace car with the flashing lights will peel off shortly, and then Alex Au, the Hong Kong driver, in the number 12 car on the left of screen, will have control of this field and wait for the red lights to go out, and that is when it is go time.
It's going to be an interesting battle on the run down to turn one. Alex Au has had past experience, obviously, at Shanghai International Circuit, and past experience, recent experience, in fact, of driving the R8 LMS GT3. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can cover. I'm pretty sure he can. He's used to these rolling starts, but Jingzhou is pretty keen too, and as is Andrew Haryanto in that black and gold entry. The Performax car on the second row, you can see he's already tucking in under the rear wing of Alex Au. Then they're away, lights are gone out, and Haryanto's going to try and split the middle, split the difference like he did yesterday, but no, Jingzhou's got into that position and not too far behind him. They're going to try and go three wide, and Yasser Shahin closes the door on both Alex Au and Andrew Haryanto on the run into turn one. Bao Jinlong in that white and orange car. Somebody just sneaking up the inside. It's Jeffrey Lee. And on the outside, going around Andrew Haryanto too, is his title rival, the man who won yesterday, and that is Birit Burambakdi.
Well, it'll be interesting to see a replay, and particularly from the side-on angle, if we can, of that start, because Sun Jingzhou looked to have the jump on Alex Au. Perhaps Alex thought, well, they all have to stay behind me. It's up to them, not me, to do that. And Sun Jingzhou wanted to go perhaps a little bit too defensive a move from Alex, and he has fallen back to third position. Now, Andrew Haryanto didn't quite, as we get the replay here, and you can see pretty level. Alex does seem to be ahead, so I think probably everything is okay, but the stewards might perhaps have a look at that. But Sun Jingzhou, perfect start from him. Andrew Haryanto in the number 28 car was saying to me before, well, if things happen less today, he can go from third to first. That's what he was hoping for, but it just didn't work.
No, it didn't work, and he had the door closed well and truly, so he's dropped back in position. But Jingzhou, what a great start. And his title rival in this mini battle for that third seat in the Spa 24-hour race goes on. He's right behind him. That's Yasser Shahin. Looks like Ryan Liu in the car just coming into the corner now. Oh, late dive by Anderson Tanoto, rather, into turn 11. Didn't come off, but he took an interesting line in there in the blue and yellow car. But that's the battle for GT4 honours. Ryan Liu has experience in a GT4 car, but not the Audi. This is his debut in the series this weekend, and he's really enjoying it. It's been successful so far. Stood on the top step of the podium for the class yesterday. You can see the ducking and weaving. That's Andrew Haryanto with Bao Jinlong immediately behind him, looking for position. Haryanto just doesn't seem to have the pace. He had it in qualifying. He has it in the start, but then seems to have dropped down the order. Although he did admit yesterday to having a bit of an issue with one of his eyes, just a sty or something that had upset him. He said that played a little bit on my mind, but really I needed to have a bit more performance out of the car. No dramas with Jingzhou. Wow, how has he come on this season compared to where he was 12 months ago? Well, that's exactly right, Sean. Now, we talked about yesterday the two mini battles within the championship. Of course, for the series lead, we've got Andrew Haryanto and Burambakdi, who are currently in 6th and 4th respectively. Andrew down in 6th now, it looks like. Perhaps had some problems on that first lap. Now, but at the front, in that next seat for the Spa 24-hour race, Sun Jingzhou has made the perfect start, going from 2nd to 1st. Unfortunately for him,
The one person he doesn't want to see right behind him is Yasser Shahin. He's the main competitor for that seat in the Spa 24-hour race, and if Yasser stays in second, just because Sun Jingzhou was unable to finish yesterday, Yasser would definitely clean up that spot. So Sun Jingzhou won't be hoping for misfortune, but in a way, he will be.
They never hope for that for each other, because they're serious competitors, and as we said yesterday, they're also comrades in arms. They do enjoy this, so they like the close competition, and they don't wish a DNF on any of them. But go back to the points you're talking about, the Road to Spa China Seat Challenge. It's 4 races. It's the 2 at Ningbo and the 2 at Shanghai. The top point scorer that isn't already in a seat for next year is this battle for GT4 honours. Look at this. Anderson Tenoto trying to go around the outside down to turn 9. They've got the GTC car. I think that's Jeffrey Z. Is it going a little bit wide there? It looks like there's been drama, a little bit of contact potentially at the front left of the car, but that hasn't stopped Anderson Tenoto. He now leads this into the round. I'm just checking the number. It's the 36th. I think that's Sam Locke immediately behind him. It is Sam Locke. So Sam Locke's actually closed in the hard memory entry. That has allowed Ryan Liu in the 666, similar colour livery, to break away. So Anderson Tenoto's gone from attack to defend, and he's got to watch his rear vision mirror now, as now it seems that certainly towards the front of that pack, Ryan Liu has gotten away, although he seems to have disappeared. Where is Ryan Liu? Because that's Anderson Tenoto coming now. Behind him was Sam Locke. That's Ryan Liu coming out of the Parabolica now. So I wonder whether there was contact with the GDC entry that looked like it may have had a little bit of body damage. So we might see something of that a little bit later. Anyway, so we go to the front of the field. It is Sun Jingzhou. Last time round, a 2:08.4. Qualifying time, Mark, I think was the high 2:05s, wasn't it? Yeah, high 2:05s. So still a little bit of pace to come from the car.
Well, it's been all changed at the front. Alex Zhao started in first. He's now in third. Sun Jingzhou from second up to the lead. Yasser Shahin has moved from fourth up to second place. Burrit Baranbakdi, good improvements from him from sixth to fourth. Bao Jinlong is the only person who's remained steady in fifth position, and Andrew Harrianto has dropped from third to sixth. So a lot of shuffling of the top 6 so far in this race, but beginning to spread out just a little bit, but of course remaining in touch. Now, the red icon that you can see in Alex Zhao's car there, that means that he has 20 kilos from his second place finish yesterday. Just to give you an update, Andrew Harrianto is carrying 40 kilograms of success ballast. Burrit Baranbakdi is carrying 50, and then from the GT4 class we have Anderson Tenoto with 50 as well. He's further down the field, of course. Ryan Liu has 30 kilograms and Sam Locke has 10.
Now look at this. Yasser Shahin has closed in under the rear wing of Sun Jingzhou now, so that's going to make things very, very interesting. But Jingzhou's got great drive off the Parabolica, and he'll carry that speed all the way down to turn 14. So he really has made great advantage there. So this is one of the elements of where they can set the car up a little bit differently. That can be wing angle too, which may slow you down on some of the higher speed corners, but give you more downforce and better drive off the corner. But more wing angle will also slow you down in a straight line. So the way you adjust that will allow your car to perform differently, as now Andrew Harrianto looks to try and recover that position. And some of those positions he's lost to Bao Jinlong. Now Jinlong on debut has gone a little bit wide, and then Andrew's given him a bit of a love tap to say, hey, welcome to the championship, just get out of my way. Immediately in front of him is the man he's battling for the championship, and he knows, they're both carrying weight, but he knows he needs to get in front of Burrit Baranbakdi in order to get himself back to the top of the point standings.
Well, Jeffrey Lee just at the back of that first lap pack of 7, and he'll be trying to overtake Bao Jinlong, follow Andrew Harrianto through into what would be 6th place now. But Sun Jingzhou so far holding off Yasser Shahin.
Shahin, though, quickest on track, 2:08.322. Although we're not seeing this timing monitor update so much, so yeah, okay. It says 3 laps. We've got one time scoring lap by the look of it. Anyway, that's okay. Let's just move on. You see the damage to the left rear of Jeffrey Z's car as he recovers that position. One wonders whether he made contact with Ryan Liu, who's now back in 9th position. So he was leading GT4 rather. He won GT4 on debut yesterday. Now he's back in 3rd.
Well, that was Jackie Wu just going through on track past Anderson Tenoto.
Oh, that was Jackie. Okay, so that was the second of the cars. So the 98 and the 97. You're exactly right. Sorry about that. Both Generation 1 cars, both running GT Cup here this weekend. And Jeffrey Z, of course, who made his debut in the series at Ningbo, took back-to-back wins there and a good haul of points. So now he's got a little bit of competition. And Jackie, well, he's actually second so far in class. And Jeffrey Z is continuing to lead as he did yesterday. Now, it doesn't look like Yasser really has too much for Jingzhou, and looks like the Absolute Racing team have nicely countered what is going on with the pace that Yasser Shahin had yesterday to be able to give Jingzhou that better drive off the Parabolica, and he's able to carry that all the way down to turn 14 here, which is one of the leading overtaking positions here at this circuit, probably the most popular. Of course, you've got another one down at turn 6, and you need to be really lucky and have a good run onto the main straight in order to be able to make a passing move down the inside into turn 1, but we've seen that end in tears in past seasons as well.
Now, Sean, we do have, of course, the different categories within the Cup this year. The GT3 is lapping around 208, 209 at the moment. GT4 cars going around 215, 217. Just explain the differences between the two setups.
Talking GT3 and GTC? GT3 and GT4. GT4 is it's a lower cost formula, so it is very much a similar thing. Well, there is the GT. Well, he was the GT4 leader up until recently. Can't see too much damage to the car, so maybe it had nothing to do with Jeffrey Z. But he's certainly gone from first to third. He won yesterday on debut, but you can see the dynamics of the car physically to look at them. Look at a GT3 car. Look at that big rear wing. It's big. It's wide. It's low. The dive planes on the corner of the car at the front, they're important. The flat floor, the front splitter, which is the flat piece at the very bottom of the front of the car, those are all designed for maximum efficiency and aerodynamics. They don't have that in the GT4. You can see the car is very different to look at. Engine performance-wise, basically identical. In fact, in a straight line at the end of the main straight here at Shanghai International Circuit, the GT4 is actually faster. But because it doesn't have as much wing, it doesn't have the braking capacity, and it carries a little bit more weight, it won't carry the speed through the corner, which is where a GT3 car will pick up the speed, and certainly braking into turn 14. That's where the GT3 will get it back and could perhaps actually shoot past a GT4 car. So over the course of a lap, we saw 8 to 10 seconds difference here in a 2 minute 5, 2 minute 6 second lap at Shanghai International Circuit. So that's the difference. Now, the difference between the GT3 and the GTC is that's the original homologation car for Audi. It was the GT3, the Audi R8 LMS GT3 Series 1. So that was first debuted about 9 years ago now. It was replaced in 2015 by the car on screen. These two battling. That is the Generation 2 car, and that's only just recently been upgraded and will be introduced in 2019. It's effectively the GT3 Series 3 Evo, and that'll be an interesting car. Only minor differences, efficiency, performance, physically very similar to look at, but we should see a few of those in the region next year, and will probably make up the bulk of the Cup field.
Always an education, Sean. Disappointed that you weren't able to slip in the gurney flap somewhere. I know that's one of the favourite parts of the car.
Would you like to explain that? I thought I'd leave something for you, Mark.
I think it's time to get back to the race, because look at this stunning battle between the front two, with Sun Jingzhou still just about managing to hold off Yasser Shahin, but Yasser giving it everything, and he's right behind him now. We don't have an exact difference. But
there is Jeffrey Z. I did miscalculate which one of the two GTC cars it was earlier. It was the 97, of course, we were talking about with Jackie Wu, but this is Jeffrey Z leading that category. He is in position number 8 outright. You can see the physical differences between the GTC and the current spec. So that's the Generation 1 car. It was a GT3 car, and also the Generation 2 cars, which are running around at the front of the field. There's a bit of a time difference between the two of them. In fact, you look at Jeffrey Z's top time at 2:08.72. Now, it's not too bad. Sun Jingzhou's best so far at 2:07.8. In qualifying, there was a couple of seconds separating them, but still a very handy specification GT3 car, and we see a lot of them running still around the world. The Generation 2 car, it's been very popular last year. In fact, I think they distributed their 100th car. So a lot of those competing around the world too, and no doubt we'll see a lot of those upgraded to the new Evo spec. Better cooling, better performance, better aero, and it's actually a prettier car.
Well, Sean, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Still early on in this race, just about a third of the way through. Can Yasser Shahin get past Sun Jingzhou here? And if he can, will he make it stick?
Jingzhou will definitely defend. There's no question about that. I would hesitate to say, despite being an Australian, a fellow Australian, that I don't think Yasser is going to be able to do it, in part because of the fact that Jingzhou has done a lot of miles around this circuit. This is Yasser Shahin's debut. This is only his second race, so it's about his 14th racing lap on this circuit. He still has a lot to learn. He admits that. His pace is good. I'm very surprised by the pace of the number 12 car. I did expect to see Alex Au closer to the front, in fact leading the field away from pole position, but certainly the drivers in front of him swamped him off the start into turn 1, and that's where the advantage was made, but he doesn't seem to be able to do much about it. In fact, he has not been able to break into the 207s yet, and he is a good 3 or 4 seconds back from this race lead. So I don't know that Yasser is going to be able to make the move. Having said that, we saw yesterday, and you saw it again in the replay, he made a slight error under braking down at turn 14 and spun off the circuit yesterday whilst he was battling just off the tail of the top 3. So again, these are gentlemen drivers. They don't do this professionally. They are prone to the odd mistake on track, and everything's happening, remember, at hundreds of kilometres an hour.
Now this is the battle on screen for 4th position. Burrit Biran-Bhakdi in car number 59. Currently in 4th place ahead of Andrew Haryanto. But what's going on with Burrit today? Because yesterday all the drivers said he just had more pace than anyone else. Alex Au said, you know what, the last few laps I was giving it everything. I was driving like a madman around this circuit, and he was just holding plenty in reserve. I just couldn't get close enough to him. He's clearly suffering. Is it the 50 kilos perhaps taking that toll on the car? I mean, Andrew behind him has 40.
Bao Jinlong gone very, very wide coming through turn 7. It's not going to help his performance. Got into the dirty part of the circuit. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose too much ground there. I think there may be a bigger issue. It could be potentially the way they've set the car up or what they've done with tyres. Bit of a wiggle on the exit of turn 10 for Burrit Biran-Bhakdi. I've said it before, I'll say it again, there's been some big crashes on the exit of turn 10. The AstroTurf on the outside of the curb, if you get too wide and you don't have the steering wheel held on too strongly, you can spin into the inside wall. It's happened a few times over the last couple of weeks, in fact, at other events here at Shanghai International Circuit. So you need to be very careful not to run too wide at that particular point on the circuit. But certainly it's going to be interesting to see what Andrew Haryanto can do. It could be that he's just not up to speed himself physically. As he said, he had a sty in his eye. He wasn't quite feeling 100% comfortable behind the wheel, and that could be all it takes. Again, you only need to be a tenth or two off every lap, and you're back where you are now, because these guys, remember, 6 tenths covered 7 cars in qualifying 2 yesterday. 6 tenths. If you're not feeling well for a couple of tenths, or you lose a tenth a corner on 16 corners, well, there's over a second. That's just how little it takes to drop you back down the order. So Andrew Haryanto will be very disappointed with his performance, and he'll be very disappointed to have lost the championship points lead, but it's not over.
He's flashing his lights there, trying to tell Burrit to get out of the way. That clearly a reverse of the respective paces from yesterday, and told me he's making another move. Having a look here. Now, he was saying afterwards, did that sort of a bowing motion to Burrit yesterday, and he was explaining to me that it wasn't an apology of any description. There was a difference. That's with hands together and bowing, but this was just saying, Burrit, you were too good. You were faster than anyone else, and I couldn't get close.
Burrit was exceptional yesterday, and he, like Jingzhou, has become a very, very complete driver this year. Has some great training too. Of course, we've got the mentors. We've got Adley Fong. We've got Frankie Chung. You've got Alessio Picariello this weekend in the camp of Jeffrey Lee, who's just a couple of cars back from this battle, just sitting and watching. He is the veteran, 75 starts. This is his 76th start in the Cup. They have this support too to help make them more complete drivers. And you heard Alessio talking on the grid, amazed at the pace. We also have the SIC 888 happening this weekend. It'll happen on Sunday, as you said at the start of the program. 7+ hours of listening to you and I talking, so you might want to spend a bit of time out having lunch. But anyway, we'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Their performance, they had their first official practice session this morning. Their pace isn't much quicker than these gentlemen drivers. Jeffrey's gone for a dive down the inside. He knows what happens if he doesn't get alongside. In a position like that, you end up knocking corners, and the gurney flap and the dive planes can get a bit of a knock. We talk about it all the time. The GT3 cars, you don't want to be banging doors, which is the old traditional side-by-side, but the corners of these cars are quite fragile, and it can have a big impact on the performance of the car across a lap, especially on a Formula 1 circuit that is designed very much around the driver and mid to high-speed corners. That's what tests the real pro drivers, and that's where on a circuit like this there can be a big void between the amateurs and the pros. But going back to what we started talking about, the difference between the amateurs and the pros here this weekend is negligible.
Now, Alex Au pretty much out on his own in 3rd position at the moment, behind the front two of Sun Jingzhou and Yasser Shahin. Then we have these 2 battles of Burrit Biran-Bhakdi with Andrew Haryanto, followed by Bao Jinlong and Jeffrey Lee. And it's funny because Andrew and Burritt are such good friends off the track. You wouldn't know for a minute that they are just a few, we'll go past the back markers here, but wouldn't know that they're just a few points apart from each other in the championship title. And I asked Andrew, what's going on? You seem more like teammates. They were giggling like schoolgirls in the press conference yesterday instead of being rivals. And he said, you know, I enjoy it. It's good fun, he goes. It's fun to win too, but I just want to have fun on the track.
Well, they talk about the camaraderie. They really do enjoy each other's companies. Remember, these are professional businessmen, successful professional businessmen, so they have a synergy there. But on track, yes, they're great rivals, but off track, they're also great friends, and they've got a lot that they can compare. And we go back to discussions with these two guys across the course of the weekend, and Burritt's very much involved in the whole social atmosphere of the Cup, and that's a big thing. But go back again to Ningbo, that impact, turn one, race one at Ningbo. Andrew Haryanto down the inside, caught the curb, had no grip, couldn't stop the car, bang, straight into the side of the pole sitter's door, and that was Burritt Birrenbachty. Effectively, completely wiped Burritt's chances of getting a good haul of points that weekend. Burritt then got turned around a second time during the race. Wasn't his day. They could have been really annoyed at each other. They didn't. There was apologies afterwards, and you could see when we interviewed him post-race that Andrew was physically upset about the fact that he'd taken out his title rival. And he said, I didn't want to do that, and I was very, very apologetic. Burritt didn't hold it against him and then went on to win the next race. His view was, tomorrow's another day. Now, that's the 666 of Ryan Liu, just finding the edge of the circuit, finding the limit of adhesion of these Pirelli controlled tyres. There's multiple providers here this weekend, so certainly the Pirelli has been a very good control tyre for the Cup over the last couple of seasons. We were on another mark in past seasons, but this year we're definitely back on the Italian rubber. But he found the limit of adhesion down at turn one and just went in a little bit too deep, so he will rectify that one, but comfortably clear at the moment at the front of the GT4s.
So Sun Jingzhou has another lap in the book. 4 laps to go now. Yasser Shahin still chasing in second position from Alex Au, Burritt Birrenbachty. And Andrew Haryanto has had a slip because he has fallen back behind Bao Jinlong and Jeffrey Lee. So that is, well, good news for Burritt in terms of the championship lead. But here are those two, Bao Jinlong and Jeffrey Lee, battling, but they are now a place higher than they were. We haven't seen what's happened to the number 28 car of Andrew Haryanto.
Well, that just further impresses the discussion that we're having about whether or not he might have had a bigger issue, and that could be a fitness thing rather than car performance, but that's certainly not going to help him. The only advantage at the moment is the difference between his point score from this weekend, or from this race rather, and that of Burritt Birrenbachty. As Birrenbachty's in 4th, if he was leading this race, that will have a big impact on the championship, because it's 25 championship points for first, 18 for second, 15, 12, 10. Currently he's got 12, and Andrew at this stage is on something like 6 or 4 points. So that's going to limit the damage as we go into the final round of the championship, the final 2 races at Sepang in Malaysia in late November. But right now, yes, it certainly does look like Andrew Haryanto has a bit of a drama. But it doesn't seem to be much that Burritt Birrenbachty can do about the drivers in front of him either. It'd be lovely to see a split between 1st and 4th, but you can see it on track. There are the race leaders. Again, Yasser Shahin doesn't seem to be able to take too much to Jingzhou, and this would be a brilliant result for Jingzhou. This would be his 2nd win this year. And despite the performance and the successes that Yasser Shahin's had over the couple of years he's been involved in motorsport, he hasn't taken a win so far this year, and this is the 8th race of the year.
Now, Sun Jingzhou, a pretty private guy, but no disrespect to him whatsoever, but you'd never have thought at the start of this race that he would be getting multiple race victories. He has been an absolute revelation this year. It's just been in the last couple of months, really, that he's made those improvements. After years and years of racing, it just suddenly clicked as he still leads from Yasser Shahin. Then here comes Alex Au on screen. We thought he might be challenging for the lead. He started from pole position, remember, but seems to be just a little bit off the pace, but still on course for a podium. Then Burritt Birrenbachty, now not exactly a household name around the world, but had a huge following back in his native Thailand, big on social media, and a lot of people follow him there.
Great culture for motorsport has Thailand, and the Birrenbachty's have been around for a number of years. There's a number of the members of the family that do race, cousins and brothers. In fact, brothers. Burritt Birrenbachty will share the number 59 Singer Plan B by absolute entry with his older brother, Pitti Birrenbachty, who's a two-time winner in the GT Asia Series, and in fact is runner-up in Blancpain GT Series in Europe in the Pro-Am category alongside Carlo Van Dam. So Pitty's a very experienced campaigner, but not driven an Audi before. He will jump behind the wheel of the number 59 entry with Burit Birimbakti and Kandasak Kassiri in the SIC 888 on Sunday. So that'll be interesting to see how Pitty Birimbakti goes, but a very accomplished driver in his own right. There are others that compete in various championships across Thailand and around Asia, but Burit really, like Jingzhou, has gone up a completely different level this year, and that has been one of the things, I guess, that's a challenge for Yasser Shahin. He came in probably with potentially better credentials in some cases than some of his Asian rivals, but he has not been able to, come love nor money, find himself a victory so far in the Cup this year. And he would like nothing more than to be able to take this battle to Jingzhou. Now, what's interesting, you were talking about the fact they're 1 and 2. Let's just go very quickly back to the points. I had them here a moment ago. In the Road to Spa China battle, in the 2 races at Ningbo, the 2 races here at Shanghai, this is the second of them, or the 4th race in that group. The top point scorer that isn't the man on screen, Burit Birimbakti, or his title rival, Andrew Haryanto, will get that 3rd seat. Currently, the points are in the favour of Yasser Shahin after that drama yesterday for Jingzhou. 45 points to Yasser Shahin, 37 to Jingzhou, and 32 to Jeffrey Lee. Now, currently, Jingzhou will take a haul of 25 points. That will give him, what, 62? 18 points to Yasser Shahin. Can he get much closer? That will give him 63.
Wow.
So that would give that coveted seat fully funded as part of the Audi Sport customer racing operation in an Audi R8 LMS GT3 in the Spa 24-hour race in 2019 to Yasser Shahin. So he cannot afford to make a slip, and he may well be aware of that. That might be why he's not affording himself the chance to fire up the inside of Jingzhou and take that lead away and potentially risk contact.
Now, Sun Jingzhou would have one more chance in Sepang when we go there at the end of November for rounds 9 and 10. So it's not over for him. However, he's going to be bitterly disappointed after his great qualifying for the first race of the weekend, and then the disappointment in the race, not scoring any points at all. Just imagine if he'd finished in the top 10, he would be on level on points.
Yeah, it makes it interesting, doesn't it? Now, wonder whether Yasser Shahin's got any issue? No, he doesn't really. At one stage, it looked like he dropped back quite a bit from Jingzhou, and that Alex Au had a bit of a recovery.
Does leapfrogging here, that would completely change it around.
Absolutely, it would change the end result, and it's every likelihood that Jingzhou would then get that seat. Of course, we've got one more chance and one more seat in the entry for the 2019 Spa 24-hour race, and that comes as a result of being the best point-scoring driver that isn't one of the 3 drivers already in that car for next year at Sepang in Malaysia for the final round of the championship, or the final 2 rounds of the championship. So there still is another opportunity, and on Jingzhou's performance now, you couldn't discount him still making it, whether he wins or loses this seat to Yasser Shahin today. Interestingly, while I was been talking, I just looked across at the timing monitor in front of you, Mark, and looks like Ryan Lewis regained the lead in GT4, taking it back from Anderson Tanoto. We didn't see that. We did see Ryan Liu on screen. He seemed to have dropped back to 3rd, but certainly back up to what will be his 2nd win from 2 starts in that category.
Well, the leader's just at the back of that group of 4. That is Anderson Tanoto, just been lapped by the top 3. He is running in 11th place overall, but with just a few moments to go here, Sun Jingzhou is looking very good for his 2nd win of the year, but Yasser Shahin will be looking to pounce on any mistake, still right behind him. And then, of course, wouldn't it be interesting if Alex Au was somehow able to split them up, and he was joking yesterday that he was trying to get in amongst it and do someone else a favour by taking maximum points. Well,
Alex Au, in all reality, if he actually comes to the next round in Sepang in Malaysia, he could put himself in the box seat to be the man who may take that 4th seat. And a very accomplished and experienced driver in a range of different GT cars over the last couple of seasons. Of course, a former AM Cup champion in the Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup. So very experienced in that regard. So he could be in the hot seat come Malaysia, because his performance this weekend has certainly been exceptional. And in that point score, he will put himself into contention too. But of course, he wasn't at Ningbo. So that's wholesale points that he will not take towards his overall tally, despite the fact that in that group, he would be the leading point scorer of those 3 drivers.
Oh, wow. It is getting very close between these 3, as we can see just the final few turns of the final lap. Doesn't look like, unless there's traffic here
That is the race leader for GT4. I think that would be Ryan Yu, the 666 that they're just going through, coming out of the Parabolica. So Jingzhu's through. Shahin will be using the car in front to try and get a draft. Now, this is interesting. This will highlight the point I was talking about the straight line speed of the GT4 car. Well, he's pulled in front of him, so he's just made a liar out of me. Maybe in that drive off the final corner as Jingzhu closed the door on him to take the position, he lost the drive onto the back straight, so it probably wasn't a true representation. But we're just 2 corners from home, or a kink in a corner, and Jingzhu will have his 2nd win of the year. Provisionally, of course, it has to be ratified by the stewards after the race. But what a great drive by the man in the number 13, effectively led from start to finish. And a great drive and a great result for Jingzhu. Yasser Shahin across the line 2nd, back on the podium. And Alex Howe, after his 2nd yesterday, will finish in 3rd.
Well, not too many dramas throughout that race, Sean, but it's been a while since we've seen the top 3 all finish within such a short space of time. And that just shows you how competitive they are within the different categories here, and just, well, how much they've improved, as we've talked about.
Well, the other thing too is I found it was a race without lots and lots of action. We've seen a lot of action. You certainly go back to Ningbo, there was passing going on all over the circuit. We didn't know where to look at various stages. This one was relatively what you'd call pedestrian, but you've also got to remember it's getting to the closing stages of the championship. You've got things like the outright championship points, so you won't have drivers like Haryanto and Biren Bhakti doing anything dramatic. You had the seat up for the Spa 24-hour race, so really Yasser Shahin was never going to tackle the race leader Jingzhu, knowing that he would have him covered on points. Alex Howe didn't really have too much to prove. He doesn't want to damage a car risking a move. He also appreciates being in a position where you're battling for a championship and you don't want anyone suddenly doing a dive bomb in the middle of a corner and trying to take that position away. So all these things considered, these guys are being very measured with the way they're racing over the final rounds of the championship.
And a seat in the Spa race is a massive prize for these gentlemen drivers. I mean, it's not winning the championship, but it's the next best thing. And as you said, Yasser's not going to risk it. Now, Alex Howe, having got the taste back as he's returned to the Cup, you made a very good point. There's every chance he might go on to Malaysia. Now, perhaps if he beats Sun Jingzhu, he'll be disappointed. He'll think, well, I've been here all year. But hey, that's just the way it goes.
Well, fact is, Jingzhu's just won his 2nd race of the year.
Yeah.
So, in part, he could say, well, I'm quite happy to go toe-to-toe with you, Alex Howe, because I know my performance at the moment is quite good. I've had past experience at the Sepang circuit, so bring it. Let's go. Game on when we get to the final round of the championship. So whilst Jingzhu appears provisionally to have lost that seat by 1 solitary point, he gets another chance to do it again in a bit over a month.
Now, there's one thing that we haven't really talked about too much, but they were so close in qualifying. You just wonder over the course of these 12 or 13 laps whether the weight has made that difference on the time, with Haryanto at 40 kgs, Biren Bhakti 50 kgs, Alex Howe had 20. The 3 who didn't have any weight whatsoever, Sun Jingzhu, Yasser Shahin, and the rest. But those 2 in particular, that's perhaps why they did so well, because they were free of the weight when those cars are so competitive from their qualifying times.
And you also have to consider too that from the start of qualifying to the end of the 2nd race, they have 2 sets of tyres. It's how they manage those tyres during qualifying. Do you start both 15-minute sessions with a new set of tyres? Do you just use one and then use it again for the 2nd session and then have a fresh brand new set of tyres for the 2nd race? The drop-off on the Control Pirelli tyre isn't too bad, but it is a consideration for the team, so it's interesting. But Jingzhu, what a great result. Hopefully he doesn't lose his door as he steps out in front of Yasser Shahin. There is the director of Audi Sport Customer Racing, Martin Kuhl, who's seen every single one of these races. What are we up to, about 78 races or something now in the Cup over 7 seasons? There is Frankie Chung, there is Ingo Mehta, all very much involved in the performance of Jingzhu this year and his elevation to being one of the best drivers in the region again. So what a good result for the team.
So confirmation of the victory for China's Sun Jingzhu. Australia's Yasser Shahin gets the 2nd place. And the Hong Kong driver Alex Howe is 3rd with Biren Bhakti, Bao Jin Long, Jeffrey Lee, Andrew Haryanto, Jeffrey Z, Jackie Wu, Ryan Leo, Anderson Tenoto, Sam Locke and Sheng Yanwen completing the field. It's Jeffrey Z getting the Cup class victory and Ryan Leo in the GT4 category.
Now, interestingly, coming into this round, Biren Bhakti led the outright points by 125. He was 5 points clear after that 4th win yesterday of Andrew Haryanto on 120 points. Yasser Shahin's in 3rd on 85. So Shahin will jump, but he won't jump enough to displace Andrew Haryanto. Haryanto, of course, will drop back because he will gain about 6 or 8 championship points, whereas Biren Bhakti will gain 12 points by virtue of having finished in position number 4. So the advantage to Birambakti will have extended, but still it will be fairly tight. Based on the performance of Andrew Harrianto at the opening race in Adelaide, where he beat a number of very experienced Australian drivers, one of them had more than 20 starts on the circuit, and he beat him outright the first time he was there. Such was the performance of Andrew Harrianto. We kind of expected him to go on and monopolise the championship, but since that first round win, he hasn't had another one, whereas Birambakti's come through and he's taken another 4 victories. So it's getting very interesting.
Well, you're right. We've certainly seen some changes of fortune. Now Sophie is down on the grid with the race victory, Sun Jingzhu. Let's hear what he has to say.
恭喜金组拿下了这一场 GT3 组别的冠军。那说一下，其实昨天因为车辆很遗憾退赛了，而今天拿到了冠军，而且是从杆位发车一路领先，非常漂亮的比赛。
So brilliant performance. So tell us about this race. For me, this is very difficult because I didn't participate in yesterday's race, so there was no point gained. I hope for the next race in Malaysia I can gain more points.
Jinzu just mentioned about yesterday because of the quit of the championship, because of the race, he lacked up some points. However, today he make up the disappointment from yesterday. Congratulations one more time. Back to your guys. 转回到我们的解说间。
Was a very good result, and he did that on merit. He drove around the pole sitter, Alex Au, and effectively controlled the race from start to finish. Again, Yasser Shahin probably wasn't going to really risk an assault because his big goal this weekend was to try and get that seat to Spa. So,
and if he looks disappointed, that's just the understated nature of the character himself. He's a, as we said, pretty reserved guy, but he'll be definitely very happy inside for that second race win of the year.
Well, it looks like we might be heading back down to pit lane shortly because Sophie is more than likely going to talk to Ryan Liu, who took his second victory on his debut in the Audi Sport R8 LMS Cup in the GT4 category.
刘泽轩，恭喜你啊，再次获得 GT4 组别的冠军啊！说到其实这一周末你整场的比赛都是非常的干净的完成的，跟我们说一下，就是这周末你是如何调试自己状态来到杯赛，自己的首秀打多少分，以及你自己觉得这辆赛车在上海国际赛车场发挥了怎样它的优势呢？
总的来说是第一次接触这台赛车，但是我觉得它的操控非常的棒。然后其实刚才的比赛最后几圈我 spin 了一下。 但是还好，就是很快的就又继续回到比赛，不然的话会丢掉领先的位置。总的来说，第二场比赛相比第一场更惊险。然后我觉得这台赛车在上赛，尤其是这种高速、中高速的这个赛段的话，它表现非常平稳，然后我也非常享受驾驶它。
好，再次恭喜刘泽轩享受你周末获得的2个冠军。So Ryan just mentioned about the car has great performance at the same time, little spin this time, a little bit. A great time for him to take 2 victories here at the Shanghai International Circuit. So now it's your time. Back to your guys. 转回到我们的解说间。
Well, interesting to hear from Ryan Liu. It's good to see him as part of the championship, and he did a very good job. He was back at third at one stage. Well, according to our timing monitor, I think we saw him on screen back in third position, but came through to gather up his second win in 2 starts in GT4.
Let's take a look at the highlights from round 8 of the Cup. And a lot of change at the start of this race. We didn't see too much in the later laps, but it was
well, it's all set here.
Of the pack here.
But there it is. There's the race done before we turn into turn 1. And that was all down to Jingzhu getting across in front of Alex Au. And it was aided a little bit by the fast start from Yasser Shahin in that yellow and black car in second position. He came across, closed the door on Alex Au, and seemingly the pole sitter couldn't do much about it from there.
Now the major change from there was the 28 car of Andrew Harrianto. Had a bit of a blip on one of the later laps and went down, lost about 6 or 7 seconds on that, went down 2 places into 7th. But this leading pack of Sun Jingzhu, Yasser Shahin and Alex Au stayed the same, and we can see Bao Jinlong battling here with Haryanto, with Jeffrey Lee as well.
I did notice, talking about Jeffrey Lee, that we saw in that final lap as they ran down to turn 14 last time round that there was damage to the right front of Jeffrey Lee's J-Fly Racing entry. So wonder whether there may have been contact with Andrew Haryanto, who was in front of him on track about the time that Haryanto started to drop back. So let's hope that wasn't the case. It gets fairly tight in the order. Of course, we were watching the action at the front of the field, and that was a very good race between Jingzhou and Yasser Shahin. It was a good race too for the GDC honours, and it was, well, it wound up being Jeffrey Z that would take that position. I think in the end, Jackie Wu would take second overall in the 97. The battle at the front, but GD4 too was led early by Ryan Yu. He fell back to third position after some kind of issue about a third of the way through the race and got his way back past Sam Locke and ultimately past points leader Anderson Tenoto to take his second win of the year. Won't have a big impact on Anderson Tenoto's championship points because certainly Tenoto will be back on the podium. 18 championship points for him and help him extend his advantage in that category. There's a number of GD4s, as Martin Cool said on the grid, 4 of them here this weekend, and they will make a great addition to the championship at Malaysia as the GD4 category continues to grow across Asia. Lights flashing for Yasser Shahin, but, well, apart from wasting battery, wasn't really going to achieve much more because he wasn't going to upset Jingzhou at the front of the field because the Chinese driver had it in the bag.
Well, it's always worth a try and disrupt him, but perhaps he wasn't even looking. We saw Andrew Haryanto actually when he was challenging earlier in the race, trying to flash the lights. Doesn't usually work, does it, Sean?
A sign of desperation, I think, at the end of the day. Yeah. Certainly with the pro drivers, they seem to be able to count that. But we have seen situations where a driver has spun off being distracted, so perhaps that's the ploy. But there was your finish. Second win of the year to Jingzhou. Cross the line second to Yasser Shahin. Another good result. Back on the podium for former AM Cup champion, Alex Au. So now, that's the end of it for the Cup here at Shanghai. 7 seasons coming to Shanghai.
But it's certainly not the end of this weekend, is it, Sean?
Yibbity yibbita. That's not all, folks. We go on to a 888-kilometre journey around Shanghai International Circuit. There it is on the overhead gantry on the start-finish straight. And join us starting at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. We will be certainly calling that race. It'll be very interesting. A number of the Cup entries will be involved in that field.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to our awarding ceremony for Round 8 of 2018 Audi Sport R8 MS Cup. 尊敬的各位来宾、各位观众朋友，欢迎大家来到2018奥迪运动 R8 MS 杯第8回合的正式颁奖典礼。Now, I'm very honored to announce that third place in GT3 category is Alex Au from Team KCMG. Congratulations to Alex! 恭喜获得 GT3 组别的第3名的车手是来自 KCMG 车队的欧百祥，掌声恭喜！有请 Congratulations! Coming up next, the second place is Yasser Shahin from Team The Bend Motorsport Park. Congratulations! 获得第2名的车手是来自 The Bend Motorsport Park 车队的 Yasser Shahin， 恭喜！ Now, the winner in the GT3 category is Sun Jingzhou from Team Absolute Racing. Congratulations to Sun Jingzhou! 掌声恭喜获得 GT3 组别第1名的车手是来自 Absolute Racing 车队的孙静祖。掌声恭喜所有获奖车手 Congratulations to all the drivers! Now may I invite Mr. Wang Zhenyong, Secretary General of Shanghai Automobile and Motorsports Association, to the podium and present the prize to the winner in GT3 category. 掌声有请上海市汽车摩托车运动协会秘书长王真勇先生为获得 GT3 组别的冠军车手颁奖，恭喜！ As an added bonus, we have an honor cell phone as a prize for the winner. 同时呢，我们也为冠军车手送上荣耀手机1台。 Next, may I invite Mr. Pan Yongyong, Deputy General Manager of Shanghai International Circuit, to present the prize to second place. 掌声有请上海国际赛车场经营中心副总经理潘永永先生为获得亚军的车手颁奖，恭喜！谢谢。Now let's welcome Mr. David Dagobi, General Manager of Top Speed Shanghai Limited, to present the prize to third place. 掌声有请上海情速赛事策划有限公司总经理邓大为先生为获得第3名的车手颁奖，恭喜 ！Thank you， 谢谢颁奖嘉宾。Next, the winner of the Pirelli Best Lap is 孙静祖 from Team Absolute Racing。恭喜获得倍耐力最快圈速的车手，也是来自 Absolute Racing 车队的孙静祖。May I invite Mr. Martin Rom, mentor of Audi Sport R8 MS Cup, to present the Pirelli Best Lap Trophy to the winner。同时也请出奥迪运动 R8 MS 杯车手导师 Martin Rom 来为获得最快圈速奖的车手孙静祖颁奖。恭喜 ，Thank you, Martin. Now may I invite all our winners to look at the camera and take a group photo together. First, let's take a group photo. 我们先请几位车手一起向前看镜头，留一张合影。Please look at the camera for a group photo first. Thank you. 好，也请我们的摄影师，还有所有的朋友们，可以用您的镜头记录下这样一个时刻，也再次把掌声送给车手们。Congratulations to winners again! And now may I invite all the award presenters to join the podium and take group photo with all the winners. 有请所有的颁奖嘉宾也再次来到颁奖台，与我们的车手们一起大合影。好，也让我们再次把掌声送给3位优秀的车手，谢谢他们的精彩表现。Again, congratulations to the winners. Thank you for the wonderful performance today. Now, here comes the champagne time. 让我们一起开启香槟庆祝吧。恭喜恭喜我们获得 GT3 组别的前3名的车手，恭喜他们！ Congratulations again, thank you， 再次恭喜各位。好，接下来请现场的各位嘉宾朋友，还有所有的媒体朋友和观众朋友们不要走开，我们的颁奖仪式继续进行。Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. Our awarding ceremony continues. Now, I'm very pleased to announce that third place in GT4 category is Sam Luck from Team 852 Challengers. Congratulations! 恭喜获得 GT4 组别的第3名是来自852 Challengers 车队的骆志杰，恭喜！ Next, the second place in GT4 category is Anderson Tanodo from Team Absolute Racing. Congratulations! 恭喜获得 GT4 组别第2名的车手是来自 Absolute Racing 车队的 Anderson Tanodo. Coming up next, the winner in GT4 category is Ryan Liu from Team Absolute Racing. Congratulations! 恭喜获得 GT4 组别的冠军车手是来自 Absolute Racing 车队的刘泽轩，掌声恭喜所有的获胜车手 ！Congratulations to all the winners！ 好，接下来也让我们请出颁奖嘉宾。Now may I invite Mr. Wang Xiaolei, General Manager of Shanghai 99 Sports Culture Development Company Limited, to present the prize to winner in GT4 category. 有请上海耐久体育文化发展有限公司总经理王向雷先生为冠军颁奖。Also, we have an honor cell phone for the winner. 我们也为 GT4 组别的冠军车手送上荣耀手机1台。Next, may I invite Mr. Rio Harriento, former Formula One driver, to present the prize to second place. 有请前1级方程式车手 Rio Harriento 为获得 GT4 组别的第2名的车手颁奖，恭喜！ 恭喜 ，Thank you Rio. Next, may I invite Mr. Adley Fong, mentor of Audi Sport R8 MS Cup, to present the prize to third place. 有请奥迪运动 R8 MS 杯车手导师方俊宇为获得 GT4 组别的第3名的车手颁奖，恭喜！谢谢 ，Thank you, Adley. Now may I invite all our winners to look at the camera and take a photo first. 我们先请所有的车手向前看镜头，一起拍一张获胜车手的合影，掌声送给他们。Now let's welcome all the award presenters to join the podium and take group photo with our drivers. 有请我们的颁奖嘉宾也再次回到颁奖台，和我们的获胜车手一同合影。好，让我们一起用镜头记录下这样一个时刻，也再次把掌声送给 GT4 组别的前3名的车手，恭喜他们 ！Congratulations to all the winners in GT4 category. Thank you. Now here comes the champagne， 让我们一起开启香槟庆祝。哇！再次把掌声送给他们，恭喜 GT4 组别的前3名的车手。恭喜，谢谢他们给我们带来的香槟庆祝的时刻，感谢3位精彩的表现。Thank you again for your wonderful performance. Congratulations again. 哇！再次把掌声送给他们，谢谢3位，恭喜3位。好，我们的颁奖仪式继续，请大家不要走开。Now I'm very honored to announce that the second place in GTC category is Jackie Wu from Team Spirit Z Racing。恭喜 GTC 组别的第2名是来自 Spirit Z Racing 车队的吴飞仪先生，掌声恭喜。Next, the winner in GTC category is Jeffrey Z from Team Spirit Z Racing. Congratulations! 恭喜获得 GTC 组别的冠军车手，也是来自 Spirit Z Racing 车队的徐礼孝，恭喜。Now may I invite Mr. Chen Ke, Senior Manager of Huawei Consumer Business Group Online Procurement Qualification Department, to present the prize to the winner in GTC category. 有请华为消费者 BG 线上采购认证部高级经理陈科先生为 GTC 组别的冠军车手颁奖。Also, we have an honor cell phone as a prize for the winner. 我们也为 GTC 组别的冠军车手提供荣耀手机1台。Next, may I invite Mr. Frankie Cheng, mentor of Audi Sport R8 Cup, to present the prize to second place. 有请奥迪运动 R8 MS 杯车手导师陈从夫为我们 GTC 组别获得第2名的车手颁奖。好，我们还是先请2位获胜车手一起向前看镜头合影。May I invite both drivers to look at the camera and take a photo together. 让我们一起用镜头、用掌声纪念这样一个胜利的时刻，掌声送给2位。Next, may I invite all our award presenters to join the podium and take a group photo with the winners. 有请我们的颁奖嘉宾们也再次回到颁奖台，与获胜车手一同合影。好，我们也再次把掌声送给2位车手，谢谢他们的精彩表现。Congratulations to both winners. Thank you for the wonderful performance. Thank you. Congratulations. Now here comes the champagne. 让我们再次开启香槟，一同庆祝胜利的时刻。恭喜！
好的，在这里呢，再次恭喜所有获得我们本站奥迪运动 R8 LMS 杯的上海站的所有车手们。我们可以看到，其实呢，2场精彩的正赛为大家带来了激烈角逐的场面的同时，现在呢，在车手积分榜上，泰国的车手比尔依旧是处于领先的位置。那下一站呢，奥迪运动 R8 LMS 杯呢将会前往马来西亚进行年度收官的决战。那希望我们所有观众朋友能够届时锁定我们的官方网站以及所有在官方信息发布给您的所有直播。在这里呢，再次感谢大家的关注以及收看我们为期1个小时的直播。下一站马来西亚，再见，拜拜。